because I want to transition with you something that truly, and I asked you before if we can talk about this, something that really interested me about you, and I've thought about still till this day, is when we were meeting at ParadoxCon and we were at the river. I remember you, me, and Lisa were at the river just talking. This is so cool, though. This is why I like people like Alex and Dave. You just meet these guys and we already open up to each other because we know we're no threat to each other. We can open up. And you talked about a topic that, for me lately, and I wonder what Makoni says too, that I feel more and more lately, the stress of being a content creator. The stress of you are self-employed, you need to get the numbers in, you need to pay the bills. What if it goes down? What if I get deleted? All this big bag of stress as a content creator and what it can do to you. That's really something you opened up to me on that day, and I realized how much this can affect people and stuff. And lately I feel that also in my life. I just need to find out what really the question is. Would you say you now feel better mentally about the stress of content creating than you did a year ago at ParadoxCon? Did it get better?
Yes, but I think I almost had a breakdown to really take a step back. I still find it can be incredibly frustrating, but I don't really. I'm not as stressed as I was the past. For 2 years, I was kind of incredibly stressed and anxious about keeping my daily viewership above a certain level and making sure each video performed well. And trying to upload consistently, but now I'm just kind of like, it is, another time me saying this, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, my problem is that I've always focused on the negative rather than looking at the positive. So although my viewership might not be as high as it once was, I still have to look at my analytics and go, there's hundreds of thousands of unique people watching my videos every single month. That's more than a lot of TV stations or TV channels, and like that's an incredibly humbling experience that many people would even want to click on a video. So it's just kind of it's just kind of changing the way your mind approaches situations.
Let's ask like this: what happened, or what had to happen that you now feel more chill about this? What changed you in looking at this whole topic like this? Is it like kind of just accepting that it is what it is, or is there something else?
I think so. There's always things that you can change. You can tweak your analytics and things like that. But it's a lot of our success has been down to luck. Sorry, what was the question?
I forgot. What had to happen, or what happened that you now feel much more comfortable with the stress and looking at the numbers and stuff like that?
I stopped agonizing over it. Like, I deleted the YouTube Studio app from my phone. I don't look at analytics too much. I'll wait. Drew Daniel actually told me about this. Like, just don't look at the analytics for the first day or two. Look at them after a week or two, and then like usually your viewership might recover a little bit. But yeah, it's just I had a bit of cognitive behavior therapy. I think that helped as well. That helps kind of like retrain your brain to how you approach different situations. It's just becoming more content with it, like, and realizing that I'm in 0.1% of creators that can actually do it full time, and I'm still in a stable position now. Although like my income might have dropped a certain amount, I'm still making more than enough to live on, which is far better than any job I've had before. So it's that's a very healthy approach. That brings me back to that question I was asking when we were younger. I think when you're a young content creator, you probably have it much harder to handle stuff like that, like numbers going down. But I think our age helps us there to really handle that better and really understand for what it is, and really realizing, as you just said, this privilege that, for example, you and me have with this life we can lead. Yeah.
Makoni's saying, huge topic that has a lot of room to talk about this, but in a nutshell, I think you have to embrace uncertainty and understand that nothing lasts forever in life. You have to be zen, I guess. It's super hard to do, still working on it himself, I guess, but that's probably the goal. Yeah, accepting you can't control anything. I feel that I have this privilege, and I'm always scared of sounding arrogant, but we have this privilege with the TommyKay thing that for 3 years, everything just always went up. And there was never really... I always waited for that it goes down, and how will I handle it?
It's the dip. When the dip starts happening, you're like, oh my god, what is happening? How
And
do I
I'm
change this?
always trying to prepare myself for that. And I think I'm even calling for it. Like since I talked about this before, some hours ago, that I have this shock now in a way. September was so record-breaking and so strong because of CK3. The numbers are so insane that it like shocks me, it humbles me. And in the last weeks, as everyone who watches stream sees, I'm much more chill. I play different games. I don't go crazy anymore because I like humble myself and I want to be less hungry. And that also is kind of preparation for when the dip comes so I can handle it good. Because that always scared me. I know, that always scared me. That when the dip comes, how will you handle it? Even though I think
I didn't handle it very well. Like
yeah.
Like I've spoken about it a little bit in a video that I did. I became a bit too reliant on alcohol to try and solve my problems. It doesn't. It makes things worse. So don't drink to cope with like sadness or stress because it's going down a slippery path that most people don't come back from.
Listen to the man. I mean, this is obviously very private person, but how do you feel now with alcohol? You feel good now with it, or?
I can have a drink, and my problem is I have a very addictive personality. So if I have one drink, I want a second, and then I want a third, a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. But now I've got it pretty much under control. Like I've had a couple of little blips here and there, but I can easily just have like a glass of wine with my dad and just relax, and then
that sounds very
and
good.
After that, it's like I don't need to drink. Like before, it's around the start of end of 2017 to about about October 2019 was when I was drinking more than I should have been. But yeah, now I've got control of it. I've really focused this year to try and, get it under control.
Did you get it under control by yourself, or was there external influence that had to help you? That's always very interesting to me.
Well, I had an ultrasound that revealed I had like a fatty liver, like a slightly fatty liver, and I was like, oh, that's not really that normal for someone of my age. And it could have been alcoholic fatty liver. I don't know. They didn't tell me. So I just decided to be like, I'm going to start cutting down. But then I was still drinking regularly and coping to help cope with stress and stuff. So I don't know what happened. I think it's just one day I was like, you know what, I'm done. And then I really just made a conscious effort.
Which is very, very, very good and lucky and good for you, man. Some people get really stuck. Yeah, I get that.